This Shabbos Kodesh we will learn the Seder of Balak, in which we come upon that very mysterious, rather tormented, complicated individual known as Bilam HaRasha, who on the one hand was considered to be not simply a Navi amongst the Umos HaOlam, the nations of the world, was considered to be the equal, as it were, of Moshe Rabbeinu. Lo kam Navi bi Yisrael kam Moshe, bi Yisrael lo kam, avo b'Umos HaOlam kam. Such a great individual who evidently was so torn apart within himself that on the one hand he could claim that he was Yodea Das Elyon, he was able to identify the specific moment of anger of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that could have potentially been used to curse Klal Yisrael, yet at the same time, he didn't even know what was going on in the mind of the donkey that he rode upon. And indeed we have the pasuk, Vayiftach Adonai es pio asam, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu suddenly opens the mouth of the asam, of the donkey, who turns to his master and says, why are you hitting me all these times? I have effectively been trying to save your life from a malach, from an angel that was standing with a sword unsheathed, ready to take your life, as it were. And Bilam, of course, not having seen the malach, is understandably reduced to a very, very small person, not the greatest Navi of all the Umos HaOlam. And this is a comeuppance, of course, as the Kli Yakar explains, that by opening the mouth of the donkey, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was showing that much as there is nothing within the nature of a donkey that enables it to speak and communicate with man, and but for the kavod, for the honor of Klal Yisrael, it never would have received this ability. So too, Bilam HaRasha only received the power of Nevuah, the power of prophecy, let alone the level of prophecy granted him, only because otherwise the nations of the world would have complained to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, were you giving us another that Moshe Rabbeinu, we too would engage in Nevuah, and therefore ultimately was granted for the covenant of Klal Yisrael. What a comeuppance. What a glorious moment of reducing him to nothing. But listen to this Sfarno. On the pasuk Vayiftach Adonai es pio asam, says this Sfarno, Nosam b'koach ledaber. HaKadosh Baruch Hu granted the donkey the ability to speak. Ke'inyan, like, akin to what? Hashem sefasai tiftach. Like the pasuk that all of us utilize to preface our words in the Amidah, in the Shmona Esrei, when we stand before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we say, Hashem Sfasai Tiftach. Which means, says the Sfarno, that much as it's rather shocking and alarming that a donkey could be enabled to have the power of speech, no less so is it anything less than preposterous for man to stand before the Almighty, turning to him, asking / begging / sometimes foolishly in our own minds, fleetingly demanding that HaKadosh Baruch Hu grant us the needs of the hour. Hashem Sfasai Tiftach. No different than the opening of the mouth of a donkey. And much as a donkey is granted that power, solely for the kavod, for the honor of the people of Israel, so too are we granted that power. For the kavod of Klal Yisrael, for the kavod of mankind, and for the kavod of the relationship that we have with the Borei Olam. As we approach Shabbos Kodesh, and we daven our Shemona Esreis, let's remember that as we're about to open our mouths before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And as we enter the Shabbos Kodesh, the period of Bein HaMetzorim, beginning with Shavasar Tammuz, culminating in Tisha B'Av, let's remember, if we're going to open our mouths and open our hearts to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, pleading with him for the restoration of the Beis HaMikdash, the Bayis Shlishi upon the Temple Mount, bemoaning the fact that we are a generation, according to Yerushalmi, no different than all of those that preceded ours, in which the Beis HaMikdash has not as yet been restored, and therefore considered to be destroyed. Let's remember, when we open our mouths to articulate our prayers and our pleas, Hashem Sosai Tiftach, it is no less wondrous, no less a gift, no less a kindness, no less an unimaginable chesed granted to us by HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the purpose ultimately of communicating the Dvar Hashem. Have a wonderful Shabbos.